Okay, so one of the key concepts to take away here is the difference between vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. What we essentially did before, when we used Metasploit to inject um, code that we could control into the target, that was penetration testing. This is vulnerability assessment using the Greenbone Security Manager as a front end to OpenVAS. Now, let me try to do something else. I've also got my infrastructure server up. Let's see what happens if I do it there. Um, I can't remember off the top of my head if I've installed SE Linux on the infrastructure server or the file server or where, or even my Debian client. But I know, having demonstrated that there are lots of holes in Metasploit, which is honestly something I kind of knew. Let's see what happens if I point this same system at my infrastructure server. So I'm going to go to scans. Let's see, dashboard. And let me see. I'm going to tasks. And I'm actually going to do the same kind of thing. I'm going to go to the advanced task wizard, same as before. Now, let's call it infra scan. I'm going to do full and fast. Yeah. Um, I think this is 2, but let me make quite certain. And the other way I can go around go do this would actually be, okay, so that not there. So we could also do sudo nmap 1.2. I believe 1.2. Okay, so yeah, I see SSH and the DNS server. Notice that DHCP is not coming up. It's functioning as a DHCP server, but the DHCP port is not open because it doesn't quite work that way. Unless, of course, I throw a UDP scan at this thing. So in any case, I know it's there. So let me go back here. Minimize that. I'm going to minimize this. 192.168.1.2. And I'm not going to schedule it. I don't need to export it anywhere. I don't need to do anything special with this. If you wanted to do something specific, like say, for example, if you were testing Samba against, say, the Samba server or against your Win10 client, and you seem to, if you had an SMB credential that you could use, you might do that. So I'm going to click Create. Give it a minute, and then kick it off. So, and it is, let's see, I believe it is thinking about it. And I'm going to leave my refresh rate at the same way. So I can see my task. I can see lots of high vulnerabilities on the one task. And once this finishes, I'll have some more pretty graphs. Anywho, I'm going to let this think for a while and come back. Okay, so OpenVAS hung up on me, so I had to restart it. It's going to ask you this every single time. Don't. Unless, of course, unless you don't mind losing the VM, potentially. I did this once, and then the VM didn't boot again. This is actually my second OpenVAS VM. I renamed the first one to something else, restarted from scratch, and so click no. As you can see, I already started the OpenVAS start process. I checked to see if the ports were open with Nmap localhost. I couldn't see them. The web UI is up. So now we can do start Firefox, go to the GSM GUI, and go from there. And it kind of knows where I am. And it actually, I think, knows what I was doing. Let's look at this scan. Okay, session has expired, so that's what it was doing before I lost. Okay, try that again. Okay, let's look at my scans, my tasks. Let me see. So we can see the results of the previous scan. We've got a couple of, we've got a stopped task. Let's look at that one. This would be my infra scan. It is stopped, so I need to restart it. And let's look at my tasks dashboard. So it's thinking. I'm just going to have to wait. The last one took about 23 minutes, so hopefully this will be done by 5. Okay, so the scan of my infrastructure server took much less time. Looks like it took about 9 minutes. It found 2 reports. Let's look at these. And okay, so I got it stopped. That one's done. Yeah, let's do that one. Okay, so there's an issue with TCP timestamps. And okay. So essentially you can, by taking advantage of this vulnerability with the right code, you could do some timestamping at various points and figure out how long the other system has been up, which could give you some idea of what it's doing, even what it's running. So this is not the sort of thing you would use all by itself, but as a piece of in coordination with other information, it could tell you something about the system you're targeting. So clearly, my infrastructure server is a good deal more secure than my Metasploitable. I think the next thing I might try, actually, is to go after my Debian client, just to see what it does. And thanks for watching.